In my last video, we ran the Impulse 32, tested out the new rudder on the back with the rcboat bits trim tabs. In this video, we're going to be running the Mystic 29. Now, if you had caught any of the previous footage of this boat actually caught on fire. The Flycolor 150 burst into flames. So I've got the OSE's version of the same ESC, and it has the cap pack with it. So we're going to go ahead and try that. I went ahead and took off the 6-pole dynamite motor just in case the motor was the culprit. I decided to put this leopard motor on there. This was the motor that I had in the Spartan. So it is a 4082 1800 kV. So this thing really ought to rock it. She ought to fly, really. So I've got my original lid there, but today we're going to try out for the first time one of my carbon fiber top hatches. And the batteries, I'm going to be using these over here. These are the Gens Ace bashing packs, 6800 milliamp, 120C. So I'm kind of eager to try these out. I'm going to run them a couple times, and then we'll stick them in the Dominator, do a data log, and compare them to the SMC batteries. Because I really love SMC batteries. I just wanted to try something different for a change, and those were the only ones that I noticed that were actually pretty high C rating. Let's go ahead and put this on just to make sure it fits. Fits pretty good, nice and snug, and give you all a good shot of it. Turned out pretty nice. I'm going to show you underneath what I did. I'm still have to use some tape with it, but let's flip it over. These right here are really good magnets. So basically, I just took one magnet and epoxied it into the hatch, and then I took two more magnets, stacked it on top of it to get the proper height, and I just super glued them together. And what the two magnets do, they basically click right onto the original mounting bracket. So that was my makeshift way of making those magnetic clips work. And then these are just simple finishing nails that I trimmed and cut to fit. And it works. It works rather good. So, all right, gotta wait for the batteries to finish charging, and then we're gonna take this thing out to the pond. All right, well, we've got it out here just in the nick of time. I wanted to show you my rudder. I went ahead and cleaned the back of my rudder up. Got it to where it's not like a sharp edge anymore. See how it's kind of like rolled over? So hopefully that will help a little bit. Got my prop blast. Hopefully that's at the right angle. And we're gonna go ahead and throw it in the pond. All right. It's been a minute since this thing's seen the water. Look at that. Wow. Thing sprays up nicely. I've got the batteries kind of far forward because I didn't want it to I didn't want the batteries to be too far back, and then it ran like nose light and then it would fly off the pond. So I'm just doing some testing. I can see both cooling lines working. Yeah, she is a little nose heavy. A bigger motor is going to add weight to the nose too. Wow, she is a rocket ship. You can see it squirts up in the air. That's so cool. It does just like the Impulse. The Impulse does it off a through-hole pickup. This thing gets it. Wow. Gotta be careful. Getting dark, getting late. Woo! Golly, man, this thing wants to get it. I don't know how those batteries are gonna do. I need to not do too many full rips. I know the SMC batteries can handle it. Wow, this thing is sick. Whoa. Because of the carbon fiber lid, my GPS is not working on my WFly X9. Do a cool down lap. Wow, this thing is crazy. All right, let's do another cool down lap because, man, she flies, y'all. She flies. Now, I do have my other GPS inside the hull, and it's towards the back, so hopefully it won't affect it. So I should get pretty accurate top speed. She's running beautifully, though. She's turning a little bit to the left. That was only 3/4 throttle. I'm just cruising right now about half throttle. Whoa. Full, that was a full hit right there. Let's do some little ovals here. I'm gonna zoom y'all out. We'll do some ovals and get over here to where we can actually shoot this better. Whoa, coming out of the water. The batteries might be sliding back. They do not have Velcro on them. I probably needed to put Velcro on them. All right, do one more full speed hit. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it in. Wow, yeah. All right, come here, baby. Tape is hard to get off when it's cold. That was a really good run, guys. Very, very surprised with how good it ran. Let's see. Any water in the boat? No water in the boat. That's excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. Now, it's cold out here, so okay. Motor does good. Let's check the stuffing tube right here. I was worried about that. Not bad. ESC. Now the heat sink is kind of tricky because the heat sink will tell you one thing, but the actual temperature of the ESC below it is another thing. So see, when we check capacitors, I truly believe that the temperature of the ESC below the heat sink is the temperature of the actual ESC, because the heat sink's got 36-degree water flowing through it, but the capacitors do not. So they're actually 127. So that's about the limit. You know, I was really throwing it to it. Let's go ahead and check the batteries. Nice. $87. Oh. Let's go over here and check the. Oh yeah, okay. So that's why it was running funky. This one did. It slid forward. Because I have my mark. See my marks 1, 2, and 3. And I'm running this one right here. let's see, that one slid forward too. So both of these batteries need to have Velcro on them so they don't slide. So that was my issue. I thought it was running a little nose heavy, especially when I pulled it in. It kind of plowed a little bit, but yeah, cool. Ran great, and the carbon fiber top hatch did its job. It did its job. Very, very pleased with it. It could have turned out a little bit better, but you know, I think whenever we do stuff, we always criticize our work. You know, we can always get better. Now, let's see. My max top speed for this boat prior to this was 50 miles an hour on this pond. Let's see what it is. Holy shit, 56. That's awesome. It's basically equivalent to the Impulse. That is awesome. 56 miles an hour. Wow. On a tiny little 1 acre pond. Oh, that's shit. That's awesome. Okay, 56. Hell yeah. Let's go ahead and turn that off. I need to charge it. I wish the battery in these things lasted a little bit longer than they did, but cool. Let's take it inside and let's check the voltage in the batteries and see how much voltage we got left. Because that was right at a 5.5 minute run, and I gave her pretty good hell. All right, now we made it inside. I went ahead and took the liberty of taking the batteries out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and plug this up, and we're gonna check to see what the voltage is left in these batteries. I'm honestly curious myself. It's hard to do this with one hand and film with the other. Wow, 3.8. That's very, very nice. I got, you know, roughly it was 5.5 minutes. It's typically what I run my boats, 5 minutes. And they basically did kind of just like the SMCs did. Didn't really notice any slag and power. They did really, really well, honestly. Okay, let's go ahead and check this other one. Now, for the price, because I bought these at a legitimate hobby store, you could have bought 4 of the SMC pink packs for the price of 2 of these. Okay. Yep, bingo, smack dab on the money. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I paid like 74 bucks a piece for each one of these batteries. You know, I think you could get them online for like 68 bucks. But still, if you go on SMC's website and you try to look at the equivalent of something like this, I don't really know what it is. I think they have like a 7600 pink pack. It's probably like $44 or somewhere around that. But yeah, I just wanted to try something different. I actually went with these because they were skinny and narrow. My thought was maybe I could run these in the Dominator because they were long. But yeah, overall, turned out great. Turned out absolutely beautiful. And what I have to do in order to get the batteries out of the boat, I got to take the motor housing, because like I run it like this, in the bottom and out the top. And then I got to take it and I got to roll it down to where I can get the batteries in. And then I'll take it and I'll roll it back up before I run it. So yeah, overall, shit, this thing turned out great. I can't complain. The top hatch did its job. I still got the white one. I'm gonna make a few more of these. But yeah. So I want to show you. I want to show you what I'm working on over here. So this is another top hatch. This is a single layer. And I did this, I don't know, a few days ago. And this is basically how they all come out. They come out looking rough. And it takes a few times of dressing on them. So that is dual. That has 2 layers of carbon fiber. And I have an issue with trying to get these back corners molding perfectly fine. You can kind of tell. See how that little contour isn't perfect? This one over here isn't perfect. And then the nose itself is not, you know, perfect. This one did better. It's just easier to form 1 layer of carbon. So my thought was, let me go ahead and do 1 layer, and then I can put another layer underneath this to reinforce it. That was my thought. So what I got to do now is I got to trim around this and clean it up, sand it, because I've got areas like this. See that? Where the epoxy, where basically the material didn't pull down far enough in the mold, and it was this area here that didn't, but this area here that did, and this area here that didn't. So it's you know, vacuum forming, I think the real way of doing it is going to be the you know, better preferred method. But the underside always turns out excellent. It's kind of crazy. But the side that goes against the mold, not so much. But yeah, so thank y'all for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please sure to give the video a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace out, boat gang.